Hi my wonderful people, how are you doing? My name is Aditi और आज के वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे what are the couple of things which most design schools don't tell you enough about. And it's only once you graduate and you come out of school that's when you feel that you wish someone would have told you about these a lot earlier. So if you're just starting out, I'm going to give you that advantage in this video. I'm going to tell you those 5 important aspects that will help you to transform the way you approach your portfolio as a beginner. Also, if you're someone who's just wanting to get more creative and expand their innovation skills, even then you will find this video very helpful. Okay, so let's start with the first thing. The first mistake that we all end up doing is that when you're trying to be creative, my friend, you don't want to spend a lot of time in front of your laptops or your mobile phones because these are machines which are designed for perfection, to deliver you perfect results. And this perfection is far away from what a creative process feels like in the real world. Think about it. If you're trying to come up with something which nobody has ever seen before, it's from scratch, it has to be fresh, that process is just messy. It's chaotic, it's demanding, it's exhausting, it's borderline insane. And it's very, very challenging to come up with something creative when you're surrounded by a pixel perfect screen all day. I'll give you the example of Mr. James Dyson. So back in the 1990s, when he was struggling to find inspiration, solution to his bagless vacuum cleaner, he got his inspiration from something known as an industrial cyclone. And this is what the machine looks like. And the job of the machine was very simple, just separate dust from air. Yeah, that's it. And something so mechanical looking was able to inspire him to create his range of glamorous products, which took the industry by storm, and obviously his vacuum cleaner was an instant hit in the market. So you see, the more you're able to connect random things around you, the more likely you'll be able to come up with some crazy, cool, innovative ideas. Laptop is definitely not your best friend. The second thing, which I don't know why, but design schools don't tell you about it enough, is that if you want to be a good designer, you definitely should not sleep, eat, and breathe design all the time. This feels like an instinctive way to go about your passion, because when you're just starting out, you're just so ambitious and you want to give it everything you've got, right? So to a certain extent, it's not bad because you're trying to nail so many software. You have to deal with so many projects and assignments in your college. And yes, you will have to obsess about this new stream that you're getting into, but you definitely don't want to make it into a habit. Because when you think of design and designers all the time, your thinking, your ideas, your creativity, your solutions, everything is one dimensional, which means your products end up being boring, predictable, and they don't have any interesting references to talk about. I'll give you the example of Air Jordan 5. This was quite a hit in the sneaker culture, in the sneaker community, and this was designed by Mr. Tinker Hatfield. And that zigzag-like structure, that zigzag-like pattern that you see at the midsole, it's got a flame-like design. This pattern was interestingly inspired by the shark teeth that were painted on fighter jets from the World War II. So Mr. Tinker Hatfield had a wide range of hobbies, multifaceted interest. And this is why all of his products, his ideas had such diverse stories to talk about, which got everybody's attention. And of course, that is also one of the reasons why his products were so timeless. So if you have a hobby or an interest which is far away from the field of design, you definitely don't want to abandon it because it is not a distraction. You never know how you might be able to connect your different passion or your different hobby to a new interesting product in future. Let's move on to number 3. Third aspect kya hai? That you don't want to rely too much on Google Baba. So that's what we call it, right? Google Baba. So Google Baba has all the answers, but Google is a great tool if you want to find what is the best route, fastest route to get to your work, or the best Indian restaurants near you. It's a great tool for questions like that. But when it comes down to real, serious research, Google might not be the best option. Yes, because I'll give you a reason. When you type in a couple of search keywords, in your Google search box, you get a couple of results. The top 3-4 websites that you see are the most popular websites amongst most people who are using the internet. And of course, with that, you also get your fair share of paid advertisement campaigns, which also get your attention. So all of the things that you see on Google give you an enormous opportunity to read new information, but how much of it is completely authentic or credible, that is an unsolved mystery. Whereas if you're planning to do your research in a place something like a library and you're wanting to read on, let's say, product design, your book is most likely to be sharing its shelf with 50, 60 other books from completely different subjects. And while you're on your way to hunt for your book, you're very likely to stumble across equally interesting subjects. It could be fashion photography, it could be a comic novel, it could be a romantic novel, or you know what, it could just be something about animals. You might accidentally stumble across a new interest today that can grow into your passion in future. And this can create an absolutely wonderful opportunity for you to connect the dots and make your products and ideas so much more exciting. You see, when you rely too much on Google, you cut down your opportunity to explore new things. Back in the 1930s, there was this Italian journalist whose name was Laszlo Biro, and his job required him to do a lot of active writing on paper. And he would do this with his fountain pen. So while he would do the writing, there would be a lot of smudging of the ink, and the ink would bleed. And all of this was the kind of experience which never made him happy. Just out of curiosity, Laszlo Biro started reading about the printing process. He had a journalism background, but he still wanted to explore his new interest. And that's when he accidentally stumbled across the magic of the printing ink. So printing ink was one of a kind in that era because it was quick to dry, there was no smudging, and that's when Laszlo thought that what if I could combine the printing ink with my writing tool and then get rid of all of this smudging problem. And that is how the idea of the revolutionary ballpoint pen was born. So you want to create new opportunities for you to explore different subjects. The fourth pointer, also very important, before you get your very first clients, is you want to ask for a PDF or a written document that mentions the deliverables that are expected out of you. What that means is, if you're a logo designer, if you're a graphic designer, then you want to know exactly what kind of logo is expected out of you. It's a 2D logo, 3D logo. Where will your logo be used? Will it be printed on paper or flashed on social media? Every minuscule detail that you can think of. The more clarity you have in your list of deliverables, the easier it makes your life. Because this minimizes your chances of last moment frustrations or misunderstandings with your client once your design process starts off. I'll give you the example of the Sydney Opera House. Just absolutely stunning to look at, and it got its good share of international fame because, just look at the structure. It's absolutely spectacular. This Sydney Opera House was designed by a Danish architect, and his name was Mr. Jon Utzon. And like you can see, his thought, his idea is completely ahead of its era. It looks absolutely remarkable, doesn't it? So the design team at the Sydney Opera House had collectively come up with a time estimate of 4 years to complete the project. And in practicality, it took about 14 years to complete the project, 10 years extended. The estimated budget was $7 million, but on completion, in practicality, it costed more than $100 million. You see that gap? All of that misunderstanding, miscommunication, and all of those controversies unfortunately led to the designer having to resign from the project midway. Just look at the stunning creation and the stunning thought, and the fact that a designer has to resign midway. How heartbreaking would that have felt? So the government had to actually hire a second team to complete the project. And this controversial incident taught the world, all the designers around the world, that misunderstandings between the client and the designer can happen to anyone, anytime, and at any scale. This might seem like a tip that is just for beginners to ask for a list of deliverables, but this is actually more of an habit that you want to grow with you throughout your career as a designer. There's another common confusion that as beginners we have as designers, that what is the timeline that we should decide for our projects? When the client asks you how long will you take to complete something, you want to triple the time that you have calculated in your mind. So if you're a logo designer and you know that your logo will be done in about 3 or 4 days, that's your calculation. You want to triple the time and ask for 10 days from your client, because there could be a glitch in your system. Your software could go wrong. There could be a new virus that pops up, or you're a human, right? So you could just fall sick. Anything could go wrong. And even if it does, you still have some time to fix things up. Of course, if you finish things earlier, you can deliver sooner, but there's nothing more challenging than asking for an extension to your client. That seems a little unprofessional. So I hope all of these pointers were helpful to you in some way. If you found all of this information helpful, then please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also, if this is your first time preparing for a design exam all by yourself, then you can check out my book, Master Your First Portfolio. It answers 50 FAQ questions. It also comes with a free template design that can help you to get started, prepare your portfolio with confidence, all at the comfort of your home. So I'll add the link in the description box. You can check out the book. Agar aapko book achhi lage, you can buy it, and then you can let me know what you think about it. Okay? So I'll see you all very soon. Till then, you take care of yourself.